Howdy, friends and floor heads. Welcome to a Tuesday night. I can't tell you how excited I am to play this game. So, for those of you that listen to the podcast, you already heard my interview with Jason, and we talked about the making of this game. It is truly unique, and in true Third Floor Wars fashion, we're not going to spend 30 minutes talking about the game or talking about each other. We're going to start playing. But Jason, maybe start introducing yourself, and then let's start playing.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Jason Cassidy. I'm the creative director and lead writer for Babies and Broadswords. That's the game we're playing. It's the first game from my company, Even Footing Games, and we'll go on. You heard all that nonsense on the podcast. But today we're going to be playing Babies and Broadswords. So let's go ahead and step on into the not so hallowed halls of Lady Chastity's home for unwanted children and other errors in judgment. Shining would be perhaps too strong a word for what the sun does as it rises above Lady Chastity's. It's more of a gradual acceptance of the reality that is light. But the fact of the matter is, instead of welcoming the day, Lady Chastity just sort of begrudgingly lets it come on by. Sort of like those nosy neighbors that you have to invite to a party because they happen to see the invitation. As is the habit, all of the children in the orphanage right now are in the cafeteria for their morning meal of cold porridge. Every meal is cold porridge because the head chef has a magic vat of never emptying cold porridge and not any sort of culinary training. It's easy to just sort of slop it into a bowl and get to the next kid. And even though it is never emptying vat of cold porridge, no one ever has enough. But our four little tykes are seated at their normal space in the cafeteria. The cafeteria is a large, rowdy room full of long tables with sticky benches that probably at one time had varnish on them, but now are just mostly splinter depositories. The orphanage is very much separated into little gangs, little clans. The big kids all tend to hang out with each other and do what they want. The weird kids are all of the the weird kids. You may not know the weird kids, but you know the weird kids. The little kids are all together. The sporty kids are all together. It's very cliquish. Half of this is for survival, and half of it is just the way it works out based on your sleeping arrangements. The four of you share a sleeping pad. That means you also share a table, and you are seated around your little half of the bench, eating your cold porridge. Brat, how's your porridge taste this morning?
Cold, yucky, kind of like that, cardboard that they try to tell us is bedding when I get hungry and decide to snack on it.
Secrets. Brat is right though. The porridge is particularly cardboardy today, which is riling the kids up more than the little. And it's not long before you hear the telltale screams of food fight. Oh, no. And the porridge begins to fly. You're in the middle of a war zone all of a sudden. Keeping yourself safe from the cardboardy porridge is all you can think to do. Belch. How are you going to avoid this porridge flying at your head?
I don't know that I am. I think I'm going to sit there and continue to eat my porridge as it, and maybe every once in a while, like hold the bowl up to catch more as it flies by, and just kind of shoveling it in as I'm going. Probably like porridge now dripping off of my ears. Um, you know, every once in a while, just like a long like line of snot drops into the spoon, and I just scoop it in and just
Nice.
add some flavor to it.
Nice.
But yeah, Belch's. I even imagine that some of the littler kids are, because Belch is very like tall, not bulky, but he's tall for a little kid. Some of the little kids have probably taken refuge behind Belch because Belch is just unmovingly. They're just eating and oblivious, except for to occasionally like scoop some up off of a surface.
Belch, why don't you give me a beefy roll to see how well you can peacefully eat in the onslaught? So you're going to take your 1d6 and you are going to roll your beefy skill, which is under your adventurousness skill challenge, your adventurousness skill type.
So I've got a 5. So am I adding that to the 5 to the roll?
You're going to add that to your 1d6 roll. Yep.
I got a 3, so 8 total.
So that's an 8. Belch, not only are you completely unfazed by the porridge flying to you, you are a bulwark for the smaller children. And one of them actually slips a cookie into your pocket, thanking you for the cover. So give yourself an extra cookie there.
Woo. And they will look over. They will look over at Brock, kind of grin, and he goes, "Tastes like a Tuesday," and continues to eat.
It's Tuesday? This doesn't taste like Tuesday porridge. This tastes like Wednesday porridge.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think it just got mixed up.
Okay.
Maybe it's Tuesday, Wednesday porridge.
Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, all the porridge tends to taste like, dog drool and cardboard, and whatever the case may be.
To be fair, it could be Wednesday's porridge with Tuesday's boogers. It's very hard.
It's entirely possible. I mean, and if you really, who knows if the lunch, how often she actually cleans the spoon that she uses to scoop the porridge out of anyway. You could very well be getting that aftertaste of Tuesday.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Wayne, there's globs of porridge. Belch and Brat seem to be completely nonplussed by this, but the both of them are a bit on the heftier side. What's Wayne's plan? Are you going to let yourself get slobbered as well?
Oh, absolutely not. I've been plotting an escape route since I got into this joint. So I'm going to try and dive under the table. And
All right. Wayne, give me a nimble roll to see how quickly you can move.
Sure thing. That is 1d6 plus my nibble.
Yes, sir.
I rolled a 3.
And that's your total 3?
No, total is 6.
Okay.
With my nibble skill. So rolled a 3 plus the 3.
Wayne, you had plotted out your escape fairly well when you got in, because like all good PIs, the first thing you do is figure out how you're going to get out of the room in a hurry. What you weren't counting on is everybody else trying to get out of the room at the same time. So when you slide under the table, thinking that you've got a clear runway, all you run into is other little kids' elbows and knees, just bam, 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 bam.
Oh, bless.
So you actually you take a tiny little lizard foot to the forehead from some sneaky gator kid who's trying to get out the same way. And what'd you roll? You rolled a 6?
Yes.
You're going to take 1 ouchie. So you'll add 1 to your ouchie list.
I have boo-boos.
Jason, can we talk about ouchies?
Sure, we can talk about ouchies. There are 3 types of damage in Babies and Broadswords: your ouchies, your tummy aches, and your grumps. Ouchies pertain to physical damage that you might take. Grumps pertain to sort of emotional damage you might take, and tummy aches are exploratory damage. Every character has a max for each of those 3 types of damage. And when you hit your max on those, you go on a timeout, which means you, the player, have to get up and leave the table for 5 minutes.
Amazing.
And whatever happens while you're gone, you just have to deal with. So you may not even know about it. Everyone could decide to use you as a shield. They could take all of your stuff. It's just that's what happens when
Oh, that's great.
you go out. So Joe now has one ouchie. What's your ouchie max, Joe?
My ouchie max is 6.
Okay, so Joe can take a little bit more damage as far as his physical goes. Bryson, it's chaos. Belch is eating all of the porridge that comes their way. Wayne is dove under a table. It's pandemonium, and they seem to be getting closer. There's a wave. There's a natural arc to any good food fight, and you found yourself right in the red zone. How are you getting out of this?
I'm going to hide behind Belch. So Bryson, God bless his little soul, he has done the best he could with the clothes that he's been given to look as fancy as possible. He wants to always look pristine, but he only has so much to work with. But you've got to give Bryson credit, because in crayon on the back of my shirt, you can see where I put Wan's End label that I wrote in crayon on the back of my shirt. Oh. Belch.
Yeah.
I want to hide.
Just push those other kids out of the way. They'll be fine.
No. They gotta be nice.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna
Can I
eat
hide?
that?
No. And I push it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to hide behind Belch.
Yeah, why don't you give me? You're trying to be inconspicuous and hide behind Belch. Give me a cool roll.
All right, my cool is 3. With my 4 makes me a 7.
Okay, no problem. You got to jostle some of the little kids out of the way, and you try not to. Hey.
So sorry.
Whoopsie. But you are basically right up against Belch's back, and whenever Belch leans one direction, you shadow, and so you're staying up nice and tight.
Belch, you need a new shirt. This one smells.
That's not.
I don't know that a new shirt would help. Yeah.
So these tables we're at, are they like little tables, or are they like one long table that we have a section of?
It's a big long bench, and you've got like the end section of, right? So all of the kids around you have kind of all either picked sides or are trying to get out themselves. This particular food fight seems to have broken out amongst a group of big kids, which means they're throwing a lot harder than the rest of you. These kids are all 8 or 9 years old. You guys are topping out at 4 or 4.5. Brat, you can feel a shadow behind you. It almost feels like someone has taken a blanket of darkness and just kind of drenched it on top of you. And you hear a nasally breathing kind of behind your head. And a voice says,
I could use some help.
Okay, I'll turn around and look.
all you can see is this big to you. It's maybe 5 feet, black shape with a green sort of snake snout sticking out of it. So it's just a black cloak, and you can just barely see a snake head. And it says,
I don't want to get my robes dirty. I could use a hand getting out of here.
Okay. Sure. We need a distraction. So I'm going to grab the end of the bench, and I'm going to try to push it up to tilt whoever's left on it off.
that's a big bench. Now, Brat, you are a beefy little Barbadian, right?
Yes.
Baby.
Okay. So this is gonna need a muscly roll. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna have to roll real good for this to work.
So Jason, is this target numbers that you're working from?
Yes, what it is there's we've got a tables in the book, a very basic kind of, this is what you could accomplish if you roll a 7 to 8, this is what a 9 to 10 is. So things are a little bit subjective. It's up to the sitter. That's what we call the GM. But you'll figure out kind of what fits into what.
Cool.
I've just got an 8.
Just an 8?
Yeah.
You get under it, and you put your little stubby baby fingers and hands, and you... And the table just kind of scrunches a little bit. You give it another one. And you get like a little extra scrunch. And right as you try for a third one, you manage to move the table another inch, but one of the nice little splinters that's sticking out of the edge of the table just gets you right in the hand. And you're actually going to take 2 ouchies.
Okay.
Because splinters are no fun.
Yeah.
The shadowy snake figure just looks at you and...
Was that the distraction?
I'm ignoring him as I climb up on the bench. All of you, fall off now.
Are you telling the kids to fall off the bench?
Yes.
How are you doing? Are you just asking, or are you trying to intimidate them into doing it?
Oh no, I'm yelling at him and
Okay,
pointing.
give me a beefy roll. See
That's
if you can
amazing.
get a little-
That's a 6.
Is that what you rolled all together, or is that plus
Yeah,
your?
that was what I rolled all together. I rolled
Okay.
a 1. That dice not
Okay.
liking me tonight.
It's all right. There are 6 kids on the bench, and 3 of them just kind of get a frightened look on their face and roll themselves right off, like they're scuba divers going off of the edge of a boat. But there are 3 kids still on, not paying attention because they're busy. They've got trays, and they're trying to use the trays as shields from the incoming porridge.
Belchu is at the far end of this bench and looks at the other 3 kids and looks at what Brat is trying to do and just kind of like shrugs, lifts up one butt cheek,
Oh no.
and just releases. And just grinning at Brat the whole time.
This
Like,
is the first fart on third floor.
This
Wars,
is the
just
first
so you know.
part.
yes, I did
want
it.
it.
I did it.
Get a timestamp on that. Let's make sure that
That's
we're
right.
recording this
History is being
for
made.
posterity. Yes.
I don't know what
All
I
right.
have to roll for that, but
All right, farty kid. I want you. Well, you're trying to clear out the room with your fart, so I'm going to say make me a beefy roll.
Nice.
woo, +5. 10.
Nice.
Since they who smelt it dealt it, belch is fine. A nice long one rips
I'm in a
itself
bad
out.
spot.
The rest of you are gonna take only one tummy ache as the bad air rises to meet you, but it clears off the rest of the kids on the bench,
And
in
probably
fact-
creates the distraction.
And in fact, it clears off quite a few kids all around as well.
Belch.
Yeah,
Belch. Your body's angry.
something ain't right. Yeah.
Belch. Your body's angry.
He'll look back over, or they'll look back over at Brat and go, "Told you Tuesday."
Yeah, that smells like Tuesday.
Definitely
Oh,
Tuesday.
this does not smell like anything that's good or decent or whatever. This is just like her. Dang. Oh,
That's
I'm
very
gonna call the
impressive.
nanny. Oh, you gotta
Very
warn
impressive
us.
Indeed.
You can't just let it loose. You gotta warn us.
I'm sorry.
It's not the sort of thing you can prepare for. It's really not. It's neither silent. Yeah. So yeah, you've cleared some space, Belch, and the big kid in the robe is looking grateful that is taller than the green cloud that's just sort of knocking out all the little kids around you. But you have cleared some space, some room to maneuver. And the entrance or the exit from the cafeteria is dead ahead. And there's as the cloud kind of wafts, it's just like it's a kick line almost of kids falling over as it hits them. Just boom, 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 boom. Luckily, your three friends are made of sterner stuff.
They're used to it.
We've been here before.
You're immune to iocane powder. I got it. The big kid, he in the robe, he motions to the three of you. He's like, "Yes, that is a sufficient distraction. Come, follow me. Follow me. I will pay you for your efforts. I'm not changing any diapers, though." And he's pointing at you, Belch. You're on your own for whatever you did in your pants. That's all on you.
It'll last till Friday.
Good God.
So Bryson is just going to stand there and cross his arms and go, "Wayne, this is a stranger."
It's not a stranger, Bryce. It's a big kid. We're okay.
Okay. So I'm going to follow Wayne.
Okay.
And
Wayne, you're going to follow. Yeah.
I'm going to follow, but as I go, I'm going to pull out my my trusty pacifier, put it under my nose, smell it a bit, and put it to my lips, and just pretend like I'm lighting it as I suck down the hallway as we walk through the cleared smoke.
Are you just looking for street lights to randomly stand under? Yeah.
Always.
Looking for something to lean against and just
lean against. Somehow jazz music is playing in the background as I walk out.
Yep. Wayne just keeps muttering about dames. Doesn't know what they are, but he keeps muttering about them. So do the three of you then? Do all three of you follow?
Yeah.
Or all four of you? I'm sorry.
After everybody goes, Belch will look down at their porridge bowl, look up at at their friends going, and go, set the porridge down, get up, scratch themselves, and walk off. Follow the group.
And as you walk out, there's just a slow. From the kids still standing.
Oh, that's great.
They know an artist when they smell one. In the hallway, the big kid in the black cloak is moving swiftly. He kind of leans his head back, turns his head back towards you, and says over his shoulder, "Follow me. I have cookies to pay you for the help in getting out of the cafeteria, and perhaps more work if you are interested." And he opens the door to a janitor's closet. At least it's a door that says janitor. But when you open it, he's converted it into some sort of office. As you peek in through the door, you can see he's got a couple of cardboard boxes stacked on top of each other, and he's drawn little handles on the sides of them to make them look like file cabinets. He's got a couple of more boxes that he's put a cupboard shelf door that he's taken off of some dresser somewhere, and he's using that as his desk. There's like a half-dead ficus in the corner that looks like it's occasionally been, thought about having watered. And he sits on a pillow behind the desk, and he pulls back his cloak. And sure enough, it is a snake kid, and he kind of, he motions you all into the room. It's like, come, and close the door behind you. This is my secret lair. Do we all go in?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
He asks you to close the door because it's a secret hideout.
If anybody
And
tries
he-
to close the door before I do, I push them out of the way, so I am the one that closes the door.
Oh, okay. Anybody gonna try to get in Bryson's way on that? All
I think
right.
we all know Bryson well enough to like Belch might start to go and then look at Bryson and go.
It's not worth it.
Not worth it. Not worth the tantrum.
Yeah. Brad's too busy trying to figure out what Barbie doll or doll the arms the snake kid keeps flailing around came from.
Wayne's case in the joint.
Wayne, why don't you give me a nosy roll?
Absolutely.
And Brock, give me a crafty roll.
All right. So I rolled a 4 and I have a nosy of 2, so I have a 6.
You're impressed by the ambiance. Someday
Oh,
when you
wait,
have
I'm sorry.
Oh,
I get a +2
I'm sorry.
to any nosy roll with big eyes.
Oh,
So
Okay,
I'm at an 8.
that is your knack. Okay,
That's my perk.
that's your perk. Okay, perks can be used once a break. So if you want to use it now, that's cool.
No,
You'll
I'll save
just
it.
have to hold on to it. Okay.
I'll save it.
All right. Okay.
So 6.
So 6?
Yep.
Someday when you have an office of your own, you hope to also have a cardboard box filing cabinet and a half-dead ficus. You appreciate the ambiance, if nothing else. Brad, how'd you do?
So I rolled a 5 and I have a crafty of 2, so I got a total of 7.
You are right in the sense that he is waving doll arms. That's what's poking out of the sleeves of his robes.
nice.
And he's just kind of, these little doll arms are moving back his hood, and he's rearranging the papers on his desk, and he kind of gives the ficus a little pet.
All I see is the Saturday Night Live little tiny hand lady.
And once he feels he's got everything set aside, he puts the little doll arms down, and in the recesses of his sleeves, for a moment, brought you glimpse he's got even tinier hands. That could be real hands, or could be another set of doll hands that he uses to grab onto the other doll hands. Who knows? Could be doll hands all the way down. Whatever the case may be, he's got a little T-Rex going on, where he's not quite can't scratch his own nose.
It's 3 sets of doll's hands in a sleeve.
In a sleeve, exactly.
Oh, it's so good.
Give yourself a gold star for that. That made me
That
laugh.
was good. That was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah. Gold stars are our answer to inspiration. It is a free D6 roll that you can use whenever you want.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
And we talked about cookies real quick, Jason. Can we cover
Yes.
those real quick?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Cookies in the game are both currency and the things that you use to power your abilities. So most of your knacks, most of your special abilities will require you to eat some cookies, but they're also what you use to purchase items from in the market and stuff like that. So it's both. They are a well-desired resource. You all should have started with some cookies, if
Yeah, I have
I'm
4.
not mistaken. Yes. Okay. All right. The big kid crosses his little sleeveless or armless sleeves in front of him and leans back in his chair. And says, "I was hoping to meet a group of able toddlers today. It looked like I got lucky. I would hate to have ruined my robes. See, I can't really clean them off because my hands don't reach down any further than this. Anyway, hey, you kids like cookies?"
Yeah.
And he pulls out from under his desk a sack of cookies. It just makes a nice satisfying blunk as he puts them down on the table. You kids like causing trouble?
No, no, I'm the only one. No.
He's he turns his attention away from you, Bryson.
Do you three like causing trouble?
Oh, it is my very favorite thing.
Belch is staring at that bag of cookies, and you guys hear something that worries you every time. The Belch's stomach is starting to grumble and like
Oh,
burble as he's looking at those
Oh.
cookies.
is this
Still
a
angry.
problem, Belch? Do we need to prepare for something? Yeah.
And he'll look at Bryson and Wayne, because everybody else is kind of a leader, and he'll look at them and he'll like, I would like some cookies.
Remember, Belch, we're in an enclosed room.
So I'm taking my sleeve and I'm trying to clean off the drool coming off of Belch.
Yeah, it's a huge line. It looks like a
Yeah.
hound dog.
The sleeve is starting to bubble and
Yeah, exactly.
burn away. Yeah.
Sulfur smell.
Yeah. Oh no.
And they'll like nudge Wayne with their very pointy elbow. Find out what we can do for cookies.
You, the 3 or 4 of you? Clean kid, are you in? Cookies.
And he opens the bag, and sure enough, and some of these cookies. Now the cookies you're all used to. Basically snickerdoodles with half the flavor, but these, there's little round brown bits in them. But they smell good. It's not like poo nuggets, which would be your first instinct. You've heard of chocolate chips? This might be a bag of chocolate chip cookies, which is like, I don't know, gold compared to silver. You know, it's
Right.
yes. But if I was going to compare this to some other sort of game currency, it's a bag of chocolate chip cookies, and he opens it and he pulls one out, and he just puts it in front of the 4 of you.
He says, I have a whole bag of these. All I need is a little help from some kids who can get into a place I can't get into and cause some trouble and find a friend of mine.
See, Bryce, you want to help friends, right?
Yeah, I'll help friends. But Brock, can we make big troubles into little troubles?
You know, once trouble starts, sometimes it's little, sometimes it's big, sometimes it's hard to tell.
Okay.
I mean, you
but-
know, I did little trouble in the cafeteria. Belch did big trouble. You know, it started little, it went big. You know, hard to tell.
I think I want cookies.
He's smiling and nodding.
Yes. Yes, children love cookies.
He's like 8, but he's, in the world of the orphanage, that might as well be, 35. You grow fast. Lady Chastity's.
I have a friend. Her name is Daybella. She went looking for an artifact for me in the rich kids section.
And you can hear the capital letters of rich kids section. Everybody roll me a crafty roll.
I have got 2 in crafty. I'm not very crafty. Oh, and I rolled a 1. I got a 3 in craft. I got 3.
I've
You're
got a
not crafty.
7.
I got a 5.
Okay.
And I got a 6.
Wayne, you know that the rich kids section is where the rich kids live.
Look at
And
you,
it's
Wayne.
and it's the
It's deductive
you've-
reasoning.
you've heard rumors that it's actually the
Means I
only
got
place-
less of it.
That's right. You've heard it's rumors that it's the only place in the orphanage where kids actually get adopted from.
Yeah, this is where you actually fight. People come, and then you don't stay here anymore. You go.
Mommy and a daddy? Or mommy and a mommy? Or daddy and a daddy?
Doesn't matter. You get to leave here. You don't have to come back.
But
I
do they have
bet they had
foliage?
extra cookies.
I don't think they have porridge. I think they have like food.
Mm-hmm.
And extra
They've got-
cookies?
They've got these green things that apparently are good for you, and these little red ball fruits that are apparently good for you, and these long yellow foods with
There are
like
balls you
peels
can
that are
eat?
good for you. Yeah.
All those things sound like belches when he wakes up, Dodeo.
Yes, but they didn't go through a goblin first. That is the important difference. Yes. I would go look for my friend Abella myself, but no big kids are allowed in the rich kids section. They would pick me out in a moment, but you four are cute-ish. You may be able to sneak in and find my friend Abella and the relic she was looking for.
What's this relic look like?
Oh, thank you for asking. It's a dollhouse, but not any dollhouse. It is a magical dollhouse. And whoever owns the dollhouse apparently has cool stuff that happens to them. I don't know. I was just going to sell it for more cookies, but it's worth a lot, whatever it is. Debella was going to find it because she is little like you, but she's been missing for 3 whole days.
3 days.
When you are
Rich
4, that is a
kids
long
section?
time.
Yeah.
That's right. That's this many.
Oh,
That's almost as long as my last detention.
Hmm.
You
you do?
called onto white peoples. We help. So if it's a damsel in distress, will helps.
Yes, a damsel in distress indeed. Sounds good to me.
as long as it's not a dame, we're fine.
It's just a
Oh,
damsel.
tell me about it, dames. Nothing but trouble, right? This guy knows.
Always.
He pulls out a bubble pipe and he's just puffing on the bubble pipe. But he can't quite get it to it, so he's just kind of like trying to stretch up with his tiny little. And he reaches over and gets a
Bryce,
double hand.
Wayne,
Yeah.
Wayne will extend his hand and put the pipe in his mouth properly.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah.
Belch,
Dames.
you make bubbles.
I do.
Not in here. This is a small room. I saw what you did in the cafeteria. No. I will give you each 2 cookies now, and the rest when you find Abella and bring me the dollhouse. Do we have a deal?
Wayne shakes.
I shake. And by that I mean I shake.
Yeah, everybody shakes.
Amazing.
They all right. And Yig the snakehead just shakes his head like someday you'll realize why that joke is exhausting. But for now, enjoy your shaking. Yes, it's very fun. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Belch already
so
has their hand out for cookies.
So I had 2 cookies. Everybody adds 2 cookies.
Everyone gets 2 cookies. He gives you each 2 chocolate chip cookies.
Hey.
I can tell you the quickest and best way to the rich kid section is through the courtyard. But be careful, for there was never such a hive of scum and toddlery than the courtyard. The courtyard is where the kids all gather and play. It's basically part marketplace, part prison yard, somewhere in the middle there. Generally kind of out of bounds to kids your size, but it's not unheard of for folks, for small ones to go through. So you might be right.
Brat, we're not
Um,
old enough to go to the courtyard, Brat.
It's okay. I've been there before.
Ooh.
We'll keep
Has
you
he?
safe, Bryce.
He sounds convincing. I believe him.
Brat's walked these streets, and I always have an out. So
Yep.
you'll be all right.
Okay.
Don't worry, Mr. Snuggles will protect you.
Who is Mr. Snuggles? I don't know this person.
This NPC, and I hate to show my age, but your voice reminds me of Strong Bad. Do you
I
know
think
what
I
I'm talking
probably they all turn into Strong Bad eventually. I don't. It's a bad
He
habit.
doesn't like a lot of things, but
It's a bad habit.
I love it. I love it. It's so good.
he's there when it
Show me your
counts.
skills of it, dragon.
Who's Mr. Snuggles?
Who is? Oh, he is a fearsome.
Yes.
Indeed, he will guard you well. I hope you don't have to use Mr. Snuggles.
Yes.
Now go. And if anyone catches you, you never met me. We don't know each other, and you just got lost. Okay. Remember, if all else fails, cry and look for a grown-up. The best way out of any problem.
That's not what happened. We saw you. We came into the womb. You told us about the damsel. That's not what happened.
We're going to play pretend. Pretend you didn't. We never saw each other.
So it's not lying.
No. It's a game that only we are playing. We know the rules. Nobody else does. They don't know. Okay. Thumbs up. and a little sneaky thumb pokes out of the sleeve. He gives you the Bill Clinton half thumb. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. And he puts his cloak back, his hood back over his head, and just sits there like there's no one else in the room.
So real quick, from the four of us, I don't. Bryson is not the leader. He's the taddler and everything. So who do we think leads us?
It's not Belch.
Oh, yeah. I wasn't even looking at you.
So Brat is kind of one of those bull in a china shop. So he may be the leader from the point of view of he's not leading as much as he's creating a wake that you follow in.
I'm thinking it's Wayne.
Yeah. Wayne is definitely the brains of the operation.
No question.
That's a scary thought, but yeah.
Sometimes it's not the smartest kid; it's the one who thinks he's the smartest kid.
A lot of times we decide the long straw based on how short the other straws are.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, we all think Wayne is the smartest. Like, yeah.
All that
And
matters.
Wayne plays to that with this.
And
group.
Wayne is smart enough to not dissuade you of that. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's me. It's absolutely me. Yeah.
Totally, we're fine. I have an inspector badge.
It's official. It's an official junior inspector badge. Did you actually print up an inspector badge?
It is one of my kids' Pokemon cards.
I love
Amazing.
that. That's amazing.
You guys should be glad I did not bring props for Belch.
I'm just
Because we
glad
know
I
you
haven't
have them.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I haven't seen a green cloud erupt behind you.
right.
And, yeah,
Craig
Follow
can
your
add the
lead,
things that
Wayne.
you did.
give it some time. Yiggs very much shut himself off. He has a rich inner life and very short arms. He's probably going to go sun himself on a rock later on. But for now, he's shuffled you out of his room, and you're standing in the hallway of Lady Chastity's. Now, the hallways are mishmashes of rotted floorboards and mildewed carpet and peeling wallpaper. There are openings that were probably once windows, but now they're mostly just paper mache, newspaper covers, particle board where windows were broken. It's needless to say the upkeep has not been the top of the concerns for the staff at Lady Chastity's. Occasionally, a nurse will wander by with a group of little kids toeing behind, but none of them are too concerned about the 4 of you right now because you're in the area that you're supposed to be and you're not out of bounds. They all kind of have that half dead look of regret, waiting for their next smoke break, wondering why they went to nursing school and didn't marry that rich doctor or whatever the case may be.
Wayne, I'm gonna tell Nurse Litch that we're gonna go outside.
No, Bryce, don't tell anybody what we're doing. It's all part of the game that we're
Nurse
playing.
Litch says she wants to know where we go.
Well, she does know where we go, and she will know once we're done doing what we did, and we'll be back here, and we will say we were here the whole time.
Okay.
That's how it. That's
I just
how
wanted
it
to say
works.
Nurse Litch. That's all. Go ahead.
That's fine. And I'm certainly not putting Nurse Litch as a potential problem for you later on. All right.
I hear she's got a crystal ball anyway, and she can see wherever any kid is at any time. That is what Jimmy told me. And Jimmy knows.
Jimmy doesn't know anything, Belch. Belch, you can't go around believing everything that Jimmy says.
Just because you have 11 toes doesn't
Remember
make you
when
smarter.
Jimmy told you to jump off the bridge and you did?
That was cold. It was like a bath. I didn't like it.
Right.
And you still got that limp.
Maybe Jimmy and his stories aren't the best thing for you.
I guess. All right, fine.
You got to watch out for him. He's around dames all the time.
Jimmy and dames are like this. Jimmy keeps telling you there's a ghost in the old potties, and everybody knows the ghost is in the new potties. I mean, that's
right.
This is
He just says that so that no one uses the old potties and he gets them to himself.
he gets it to himself, yeah. And he's totally going, "Ooh, ghosts! Boo! Don't come in here!" Woo! Jimmy, I hate that guy. All right. Wayne, you know that the courtyards are off to your in the general direction, off to your right. If you head to the left, you'd be back towards the cafeteria and your sleeping quarters. For the sake of me railroading you,
we will go right.
The right sounds pretty good right now.
Great idea.
Sounds
Wayne.
great.
Great idea, Wayne. You're making your way down the hallway well, actually, everybody give me a nosy roll. Let's see. What's our walking order right now?
I imagine that Belch tries to get up ahead of everybody because he's just they've just got super long legs, and everybody keeps like pushing them further to the back. So Belch is in the back.
So you don't want to be downwind of Belch. Yeah.
No.
Bad place to be.
That's a bad place to be.
And I'm just behind Brot wherever Brot is.
Okay.
I'll go up front and lead the way in case we have to.
Wayne, Bryce, and Belch. Yeah. Yeah.
And you wanted us to make a nosy roll, you said?
I'd like a nosy roll. Yeah.
Yeah, and Brod's trying to figure out how the fight's going in the cafeteria while we're walking in the opposite direction.
That is an 8 from Belch.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
It's a 4 and a 4. And how'd you
I got a 4.
All right. Well, Brot, just for your own peace of mind, you can hear the telltale signs of a bell ringing loudly, which is usually what the nurses do to break up the food fight. So, fight's over. Everyone back to the corner.
Okay, guys, time to go.
Belch.
Mm-hmm.
There's a smell. And it's not you, but being such a connoisseur of bad smells, you're the first to pick up on what smells like. You ever had a really old dog that has a really old blanket that they've had since they were a puppy?
Mm-hmm.
And the dog loves that blanket. And the blanket takes on almost a life of its own after a while.
Mm-hmm.
Belch, you're smelling the dog and the blanket right now, coming from further down the hallway, around the corner where you currently are. The direction that Wayne has been leading you towards the courtyard.
Belch will stop for a second. He'll take in a big long sniff, and you guys can all hear it because they're so stuffed up that it's just
It's a wet sniff.
yeah, it's a wet sniff. And he'll go,
Got some meat to it.
Wayne, what lives down this hall?
I think there's. Wait, is this the hallway that Sally lives in?
I don't like I'm not. Dogs scare me, and that smells like a dog, like a big dog. I don't like big dogs.
Oh,
Wayne, give me a crafty roll.
alrighty.
Do you know this hallway?
Yeah, I think I do. I have a 9 total.
Yeah,
Oh, you did?
yeah, you know this hallway. You were hoping you could avoid it, but you know that Nurse Litch, when she's not when she's not dragging the kids around, likes to keep her 2 mangy dogs, Terror and Horror, to guard the hallways for her.
Oh no, it's T
And
and
if Belch is smelling what you think Belch is smelling, then it looks like the doggos might be around the corner.
If you're right, Belch, and I think you might be, that means T and H are out, which is bad news for kids like us.
We can turn around.
We got Blot.
Everybody now looks at Brat.
Okay, I will go look down the hall.
Right, you're going to peek
Just
around the
going
hall.
to the corner so I can peek around the corner.
Right, you put your head slowly around the corner with your pudgy little fingers. At the end of the hallway are 2 large double doors. And right in front of those double doors, in a random patch of sunlight from one of the few windows that isn't completely covered over, on the floor are 2 big, muddy dogs. Muddy as in their mutts, not that they're covered in mud. They are sleeping in a doggy pile in the sunlight right now. They don't seem to have noticed that there are kids down the hallway, but they are right in front of the doors to the courtyard.
Okay, I'll go back to the group. So they're asleep in front of the doors.
Do we tell them we want to go outside?
They don't listen well.
Dogs is not people's, Bryce.
They only speak German anyway.
Nice. Multi-layered there, Jason. Well done.
Yes, exactly.
Well, what do we do?
You can hear the sound
Belch,
now.
I may have a plan. Me use my deductive reasoning, but I'm going to have less of it at the end of this.
Uh-oh. Quickly draws a picture of a light bulb.
Belch is now trying to figure out what this has to do with ducks.
and Bryson's double checking his container where he thinks he has band-aids, but they're just used band-aids, and he's just making sure he's got enough.
What am I?
For when you push broad in
What?
front of the dog.
My Belch. What do dogs love?
Biting me on the butt.
What do
Remember
they
what
like?
happened last summer?
Ah, yeah. What did they like
I know what you
more?
bit last summer.
Bones.
Yeah, dogs do love bones. Do you have a bone?
Belch will start reaching into pockets. They'll pull out like a whole handful of like earwax. Lead it, hand it over to Brat, and literally just set it in
and
his
not
palm.
Belch's earwax, just to be clear.
Yeah,
Right.
Hold on to that. Pull out a moldy cookie. Put it back for later.
Don't forget, each of you has not only your special abilities, but you each have a couple of special items that are particular to your class that you start with. So
I've got a hot water bottle.
No, I don't have any bones. I just got a cookie, and this, and they pull out a handkerchief that probably was white at some point, but it's not a color known to man.
On the second page,
and
Maeve,
it
what do you have
doesn't
under stuff?
fold.
Yeah, it's the handkerchief and the bunny.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and they'll hold it up, and literally it like doesn't flop or anything. Like it just holds shape. Like I
Do
don't.
origami with it.
Would they chase this?
They might if we put some bait on it.
They'll reach out, take the earwax back from Brat's hand, and put it back into a pocket. That's for later.
I don't want to waste that.
Yeah.
I'll grab a big hunk of oatmeal off a Belch. So would this work as bait?
It just
Yeah,
might.
I'll say there's probably some oatmeal still in Belch. I'll give you that.
Good
Yeah.
call. Good call.
I'll give you that.
Remnant
Good. Dogs might like
porridge.
oatmeal. I don't know. Okay, so you got a glob of oatmeal. You can add that to your inventory, Brat. Handful of oatmeal.
So this is the plan. We send Bryce, who's our sweetest, dearest friend, toward the dogs very quietly. We have her pet both of them, or have him pet both of them, and then throw the oatmeal down the hall. And the dogs should chase it and not tear you limb from limb.
Or
Very important.
Blatt throws it, and I watch.
Brat, feelings?
I have an idea. So I will try to carefully go down to the end. And can I get down there without them waking up?
Give me a cool roll to see how good you are at staying out of trouble.
What's your cool? Donald?
3.
Oh, we needed higher than that. Big roll.
That'd be a 4.
Oh no.
Oh no! Oh no!
Well, it was nice knowing you guys. It's a good game, fun game.
I have band-aids.
Brat, you start to sneak down the hallway, and you think you're doing pretty well, except that every time you sneak, you unconsciously go, dun 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. You throw a couple of unnecessary rolls in there, but of course you're little, so it's more just kind of a flopping onto your back and then sitting back up. Dun, 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 dun. And all the flopping and the sound effects, the ears on the sleeping doggies poke up, and they both lift up their heads and muzzily, sleepily look over in your direction, and they blink slowly at you, Brat, as they start to stand up in that way that tired old dogs do, kind of one leg at a time. Just it's gonna take them a while to get on all fours, Brat. You might be able to do something in the meantime. But sneaking did not work out for you.
Yeah. Okay. I, show them the handful of oatmeal.
Mm-hmm.
Food. And then once it looks like they're about up, I'm going to throw it in the direction of the cafeteria.
All right, we are going to do contested roll. I'm gonna consider this your first attack, basically. So,
Okay.
Combat in Babies and Broadswords is not just about causing physical damage. It's not just about punching. It's not just about beating. It is dealing with the challenge that arises, and there are different ways that that's accomplished. A hug does just as much damage as a punch. It all depends on what you're doing, and all the rolls are contested. So you are trying to convince the dogs to follow your bait. I'm going to consider that a guile roll because you were trying to trick the dogs into going a different direction. Okay. So you're going to roll your guile, and I'm going to roll the same die based on the dog's precociousness, and we'll see who gets higher.
I have a 6.
That's good.
I rolled an 8. So
okay.
In this case, if you were attacking and you got higher, I would take the difference as damage, and the dogs would go running somewhere else. Because I rolled higher as the defender, it's just a miss. So the dogs watch as the oatmeal flies over their heads and plops on a wall, and just turn their attention right back to you.
Brat, you dropped your oatmeal.
Okay. I turn around.
Yep.
And I start running, yelling, "Distraction!" Basically trying to get them to chase me past the rest of them.
And you all hear the you hear distraction. And as two dogs kind of flop behind, run past Brat. So I'm going to have us roll taking turns, which is how we start initiative. Everyone's going to roll a 1d6, and it's just whoever rolls highest. Straight 1d6 on each.
I've got a 4.
So Wayne's got a 4.
Yep, I got a 2.
And 2 for Belch.
I have a 1 because I roll horrid.
Boy, like Donald, like you're like on fuego with the low rolls. There's 6 sides to that die, Donald.
I know.
and Bryson has a 4.
And now you see why I like a game that uses cards instead of dice for
That's
its
right.
attacks.
That's right.
I'm sorry, Wayne. What did you get again?
4.
4. All right. And Bryson got a 4 as well. Okay, so
Bryson
you two
also
are
got a 4, correct?
You two are going to need to rock paper scissors to see who goes next to figure out the order. It's 1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay, none of that going on 3 nonsense.
Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, shoot. You're off camera. Put it up.
That's 2 papers.
In front of your face. 2 papers. Okay, again.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
All right, scissors beats paper. There we go. All right. So
Jason, can we take a 10-minute break and jump right into combat?
let's take a 10, and then we will jump right into combat.
Perfect. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Initiative rolled.
All right, welcome back, everyone. We've rolled our taking turns.
Taking turns.
Taking
Nice.
turns. The order's going to go Wayne, the doggos, Bryson, Belch, and Don. Now, combat is pretty simple. I mentioned all the contested roles already. During your turn in combat, you can do 3 things: a big thing, a little thing, and a moving thing. And they are exactly what they sound like. Your big thing is your attack, your abilities, using a knack, using one of your special abilities. Your little things are using an item, or passing something back and forth. Think of it as your minor action. And a moving thing is moving. In combat, we have, in Babies Broadswords, we have 3 ranges for combat movement. We have your flailing range, which is right up close, because you can hit somebody when you're flailing at them. Your spitting range is your mid-range. You can hit someone from spitting distance. And your flinging range is your farthest away. And that's when you can throw something at. So if you look at your abilities, you might see some of them have ranges specified. They'll have a cost to use the ability. So it might be cookies that you have to eat. It might be damage that you take to accomplish that movement. That's one of the ways that we sort of put a little resource management into the game. You can take damage in one thing that'll increase your ability to do something else. But Wayne, you are the first. It's your turn first. You just saw Brat, and then the dogs run on by. So I'm going to say technically right now you are in flinging range from the dogs.
Okay. I'm gonna be a brave baby, and I'm gonna
He's a
run.
brave boy. Yeah.
I want to get closer to the dogs so that I'm within
Okay.
flailing range if I can.
You can give up your little thing to go to flailing range. So you would just
I will do
go
that.
2 moves and then boom right into your big thing. Yep. So Wayne puts on a little toddling burst of speed, and you're right up behind the doggos. Yep.
And I'm gonna go ahead and spend 2 of my precious cookies, the old cookies, not the good cookies we just
Okay.
got.
Smart.
That's fair.
And I am going to use my conjuncta eyeball gunk, and just the way it visually is like I go to my eyes and I just kind of scoop out a whole bunch of gunk that you couldn't even see was there yet, and I just fling it at Terror and Horror, and I say, "Leave Brad alone."
I wrote the thing and I'm still grossed out by it. All right, so we're gonna call this. So you'll need to make the attack. I believe this is a precociousness attack. So you'll treat it just like a regular skill challenge. You'll roll your precociousness and the d6, and you'll add those up, and then I will make a contested roll.
I am at a 7.
I am at a 4. So what'll
Nice.
happen now? It'll do normally. I would do 3 points of damage to one of the dogs, but because you successfully used your eyeball gunk, it's an additional 2 points of tummy ache damage. So that actually does 5 altogether and puts one of those doggies in a bad spot. All right. So good first attack, Wayne. You just rubbed your conjunctivitis gunk in this dog's face, and he is just he's like trying to wipe it off with his paws, and
Oh, it's not that bad.
it's not that bad. But
then
that is going to bring it around.
My fingers, I'm like, sticky.
Yeah.
Myself.
Just trying to wipe your hands off. All right, yeah. Don't touch me. But that is going to bring it around to the dogs. One of the dogs is going to turn around and he's just going to bark very loudly at. He's going to bark loudly at Brot because he's been chasing after Brot. Brot, it's a big scary bark, and we're going to make it's an adventurousness versus adventurousness. So you're going to roll your adventurousness stat, and I'll roll mine, and we'll see who rolls highest. The dog's got a 9 on his barky roll.
I have a 10 on
You got a
adventurers.
10? This dog comes up and barks right in your face, Brought, and your hair blows back, and you just bark right back in his. And he flinches back. So no damage there. You defended there. The second dog. The one that you sprayed a little eye gunk on, Wayne, he's going to kind of stagger around a little bit. He can't see. But what can see you are the numerous fleas that are jumping up and down on his back, sensing a warm meal. Give me make an adventurousness roll.
All right, this is me.
Yep, that's you.
All right. I'm at a 9.
Yeah, you see those fleas coming. Maybe it's the eye gunk has magnified your sight. Maybe it's because you're an investigator, you're a PI, and you can see small things really well. But these fleas come and you just smack them right out of the air. So the dog's not a good round for them, but that's going to bring it around to Bryson.
Oh boy.
Right now the dogs are in flinging range from you, but they have stopped now because Brought and Wayne have kind of flanked them in the hallway.
Brad, did you get any ouchies in the cafeteria?
Yes.
Was it the splinter?
Yeah, I got 2
And then he
ouchies
took
for the splinters.
Yep, and then he took some tummy ache damage from Belch's gas attack. Yeah.
There's not much I can do about that. So we see Bryson, and as your hair is flowing back, Brought, and maybe you put your hands up, you know, before you did your bark. That's when I noticed the splinter, and I, in a fluid motion, pull out from my stuff a sucky snot bulb, one of those like burnt orange bulbs that that they use to suck the snot out of toddlers.
Yep.
And I'm gonna run up and try to grab Brought's hand as he's barking and try to use the sucky snot bulb to pull this out. And real quick, I have a class ability called "Look at Me, I Can Help." Oh, that's only for grumps though. Never mind. All right, can I spend 2 cookies to do "Oh no, you have a boo-boo"?
Yeah, you sure can.
Mommy's little helper knows a thing or two about medicine. They've seen all the bottles in nurse's cabinet after all.
So yeah. So you have a boo-boo, so you'll eat 2 cookies, Bryson, to trigger that.
We're down to 4.
And sure enough, Bryson runs up, and while your hands are out, Brought, he uses snot sucker and sucks the splinter right out of your hand. Sure, why not? That works. But and everybody actually gets healed for 1 ouchie and 1 tummy ache, because you're all so excited to see how good Bryson is with the sucky snot ball. You're very, very impressed. Bryson, however, you're going to take 2 ouchies because nobody thanked you, and rudeness hurts. Yep. So he's healed everybody in the party 1 ouchie and 1 tummy ache using that ability. And that's going to bring it around to Belch.
They are standing there, and the whole time this fight has been going on, they're kind of like trying to hold it in, and they look like they're shaking, and then suddenly they just start sneezing explosively. Just boogers go everywhere, absolutely everywhere, on the dogs, on the people. Just. So I am going to use my say it then spray it, and I'm going to attempt to shoot a dog with the one that's we'll go for the one that's on Wayne and see if it sprays over to the one on.
Okay.
So am I rolling crafty?
This will just be a regular precociousness in this case, yeah. So
Okay.
plus your 1d6. And I will be rolling a precociousness as well. I'll defend with the same. Yep. How'd you get?
I have a 7.
That's a 6. So that is 1 point of damage on the one that sneezed on that was going after Wayne.
And then I'm going to I'll use my say it, then spray it, drop 2 cookies down.
So the other one will take a point of damage as well.
And I do believe that reason that it costs 2 cookies is that in order to console themselves, they were trying to eat a cookie right before they sneezed. So it's not just boogers; it's some spray of cookies. It's horrendous. Is what it is.
Oh, that's so sad.
Projectile crumbs.
So good.
Yeah, just crumbs everywhere.
And then you take 2 points of ouchies from the whiplash as well, Belch.
yeah.
But the doggy you sneezed on, the one that was attacking Wayne, just kind of falls backwards from the force of the sneeze. And he's licking his chops, trying to get the snot, trying to get the cookies, trying to get the eye gunk, and just kind of wanders off down the hallway with his tail tucked between his legs. So you have removed one dog from the
Was
fight.
that terror or horror?
That's terror. Horror is still there.
Gotcha.
Horror. And Brat, it's going to bring it around to you.
Okay.
He just barked all doggy breath right in your face. Yeah.
Yeah. I yank my hand away from Brayson. Brayson, I've got this. I shove 2 cookies in my mouth while I try to smack Horror with Mr. Snuggles.
Nice.
And doing pre-nap tantrum. Flailing rage.
Absolutely.
A cranky barbarian flies into a rage, guaranteeing +2 damage and causing the tripped effect on a successful hit. While smacking, yelling, "Bad dog, 9!"
9.
As they speak German. Good call. So you're going to make an adventurousness roll and add 2 to it.
What's your adventurousness?
5.
Okay.
Brought dogs can't count.
Seven.
Is that with the +2?
Yeah, that's with the +2. Or wait, I'm sorry. So I no, that'd be 9. I rolled the 2. I have a 5, so 7 plus the 2.
Gotcha. This is a the doggy rolled. Now I gotta find mine. You got a 9.
Yeah,
All right, he got. Yep.
If I add that to the attack.
Yeah. You add it to both. Yeah, that's in subsequent editions we'll need to clarify that. But yes, you did 2 points of damage to him, include plus the 2 that from your your pre-nap tantrum. So you you just swap them with the with Mr. Snuggies, and the dog kind of slips back on his haunches, and he's just blinking at the air in front of him. So tripped means you basically knocked him prone.
Yeah,
nice.
He is off balance and on the ground, and not doing too well. And Bri, you feel a little bad about hitting the doggy with Mr. Snuggie, and you're going to take 2 grumps because you know.
I don't really feel bad about hitting the dog, but I do feel bad just sniping at Bryson.
That's fair. Then you take 2 grumps for that. That's fair. I don't want to tell you why you feel bad.
Yeah.
Just that you feel bad in a tangible, numerical,
Mechanical way.
But that's good. Wayne, you're up.
All right, so I'd like to try something with the dog.
I would like you to try something with the dog.
I would like to try to give him an existential crisis by asking him, "Are you a good dog?"
Ooh. Okay, give me a precociousness roll and give yourself +1 because I really like this.
That's really good.
I am at an 8 total.
Horror stops and he looks at you. And his head goes to the side in that puzzled dog way. and he lays on the floor, and he puts his paws over his snout. And you've never seen a dog cry before? You didn't even know the dogs were capable of crying. But you can tell somehow that Horror is questioning every car he's ever chased, every cat he's ever harassed, every bone he's ever buried, every rump he's ever sniffed, wondering how he got to this moment. And was it all worth it? Congratulations, you have introduced midlife crises into the animal kingdom.
Canon.
It's canon now.
Canon.
That was amazing, Joe.
The most important thing is a well-asked question.
Horror and terror have been neutralized. And you notice in the pile that they were lying on a pile of old pillows and blankets in the middle of this floor. That they are no longer guarding. Terror probably has some sort of goblin disease now. And Horror is trying to see if his insurance will cover psychoanalysis. But if you'd like to take a look at the pile of blankets, okay.
Let's loot the body.
Looter! We love loot. All right. Everybody roll me. You find a pile under the blankets of all of the stuff that the dogs have carried off over the past couple of years. So everybody roll me a 1d6 and tell me what you rolled.
Bryson got a 1.
And a 2 for Wayne, and a 4, and a 5. Perfect.
6.
The 6. I can't count. It's a good thing I don't have to. All right. Bryson. Digging through the pile of loot, you find a loop of string that's been a piece of string that's been tied into a knot that just fits on your finger. It's a string ring. It's a single-use item. It can give you a +1 to a brainy roll because you remembered something important.
Excellent.
Okay, Wayne. You found a picture of a puppy. In fact, it's 2 puppies. It's Terror and Horror when they were puppies. And it is cute, and looking at it makes you feel better. This is a single-use item. Looking at the picture of the puppies will remove 2 grumps.
No.
Because you feel better looking at the puppies.
Where does Wayne put that picture?
Yeah, where does Wayne put that picture?
Wayne is going to very carefully take that picture and pull his little trench coat and stick it very gently in the top front pocket, and he's going to pat it because that's where he keeps all of his important stuff.
That's where he keeps his
including
dossiers.
His inspector badge.
His inspector badge. Belch. You find a pair of really absorbent undies.
That's amazing.
It's a single-use item that will remove 2 tummy aches.
Amazing.
And Brat. What did you roll again, Brat? I'm sorry. You got a
4.
A 4? Yep. It's a big slimy booger. You can pick it and then flick it at an enemy. It causes 1 round of grossed out, which does extra damage, tummy ache damage. And that's a single-use item as well. So you each got something off of our okay loot table, which is our base level loot. And the courtyard stands before you. And the doors open wide, as if they've been waiting for you. And sure enough, there's 4 little kids, probably even smaller than you, probably about 3 years old. They're all standing there looking around the doors, and they cheer, "Yay, we can leave now. The dogs are gone. We've been stuck here for 3 hours waiting for the dogs to go away. Hooray!" And this rush of 3-year-olds just patters by you on their little stubby legs.
Are those dames, Wayne?
Yeah, they're dames. They didn't say thank you.
Typical dames. Taken out of context, this episode's horribly misogynistic.
Oh, terrible. As
Terrible.
misogynistic as
Terrible.
toddler talk can be.
All right. The courtyard is open wide before you as these little kids get out of the way. Lady Chastity's, for a bit of background, used to be a textile factory before it went out of business, and Lady Chastity bought it up.
It's Greensboro.
Yeah. She figured, hey, there's all these kids running around. They've got small hands. There's all this textile machinery. Maybe we can make something happen.
Child labor.
I didn't say it. The courtyard used to be the factory floor, and above it is a wide open space that once upon a time was enclosed in glass. There was a glass ceiling that let in a bunch of natural light for the factory. That has been gone. All of the factory equipment is now rusted out and sharp, jagged edges and pitted metal, and it's also the kids' playground equipment. So it's a little bit of a tetanus graveyard. When the sun is shining and it's real hot, it burns the skin off your legs. When it's wet, it gets nice and rusty. So there's patches of what used to be factory floor here and there, and pockets of kids all over the place. Some of them are trading cookies back and forth. Some of them are playing games. There's a merchant stall where a couple of babies have set up little tables, and they're selling things back and forth. You notice one big kid is surrounded by little kids, and they're all standing at a line and seeing who can spit the farthest. You see a couple of little gnome twins. They're dealing out hands of Go Fish, and they got a pretty serious game of Go Fish going off in one corner. There's too much to almost look at once, but the courtyard stands before you, beckoning you with all its sin and vice.
Wayne.
Yeah,
They're
Fred?
selling stuff. Are they entrepreneurs?
There's something, Bryce. There's something. I'll say that. Let's see if I can get a new
Capitalism is full
smoke.
of crap.
All right, I got my political message across. We're good.
Did we? Yeah. I'm leaning to the left. I don't know why.
We're following your lead, Wayne.
We try to proceed as inconspicuously as possible, which of course means we look as out of place as humanly possible in this space. As we try to make our way to where I think I remember where the rich kid section is.
Is it a lot of trying to whistle inconspicuously?
Yes.
Yeah. I
A
need
lot of
cool.
conspicuous whistle. Somehow the music has sort of changed to being very conspicuous.
Mhm.
There's at least a couple places where we, as just a single group, run behind one of the pieces of equipment and then pause, then run behind the next piece of equipment.
And there's just people watching you do this. Like, what? Give me cool rolls, everyone, to see if they've definitely seen you, but see if anybody wants to give you any crap.
So I've got 3 cool, but I rolled a 5, so I've got an 8.
Okay,
I somehow pulled off a 5 on my roll, so I got a 7 total.
nice.
I also have a 7.
I have a
Nice.
6.
Okay. We'll go. The majority of you made the roll, so luckily for you, Rot, everyone else is a lot cooler, or at least cool enough to pass the threshold that I set.
You know,
Um,
I understand the other kids are worried about me being out here. So, they're keeping an eye on me. That's all.
they've kind of instinctually surrounded you, and in the hopes that you don't go running off to, I don't know, just knock something over for no apparent reason. Yeah.
Belch is staring down all the cookie trading, and that rumbly sound in their tummy is starting to. And as a matter of fact, once or twice, Wayne will look back and see that Belch is kind of like accidentally fallen behind as he's like staring at the cookies, and they're holding their stomach, and there's this very longing look in their eye.
This one of the merchants sees you, catches you, kind of falling back a little. Belch. Hey kid, you want to see some cool stuff? Want to make a deal?
Hey, Belch kind of looks around like, oh, you're talking to me. Okay.
Yeah, you
You got any
goblin-y kid.
you got any cookies? I'm hungry.
You want cookies? You got something to trade for the cookies? I'll trade cookies.
I got and they pull out the handkerchief. I got the handkerchief.
Oh God!
Wayne
Why
calls
is it
it
bigger?
Wayne calls it a weapon of destruction. That's
That's Bison.
Okay, put
yeah,
put it on the table. Put it on the table.
And when they set it on the table, it actually stands up like
He reaches under his table and he pulls out these thick leather blacksmithing gloves that are 3 sizes too big for him. And he's got a pair of tongs and like a pokey stick, and he's just, my goodness, it's defying physics. It's cloth, but it's not cloth at the same time.
I've had that since I was 1 year old.
I'll give you 3 cookies for it. Oh, I've never
3?
seen such a thing.
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
You give him the handkerchief?
Yep.
Yeah, he'll give you 3 cookies. And as he takes it in his tongs, he puts a gas mask on. And he drops it in this barrel and quickly puts the lid over the barrel. And you can hear him yelling out, "We're going biological, everyone! We've got biological warfare!"
And as Belch is walking away, very satisfied with himself, they are going to use their "you gonna eat that" and lick the cookie to give themselves 1 ouchie and 1 grump, but they can use that cookie to count as 2 cookies.
Nice.
Yep. But you can't use that cookie for currency.
To buy
It's just for
things,
you're right,
yes.
right. It's just
'cause it's
for
left.
use to power your abilities. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
So let me mark 1 ouchie, 1 grump.
And you've got yourself a super ookie cookie. Yeah. But yeah, now there's cookies waving in the air now for the biological. We can power a nuke with these. Yeah.
And Belch is totally unaware of the chaos.
Unaware
have
that
just
he
created.
Oh, that's amazing.
probably just yeah, you launched the babies into the next age of chemical warfare. It's like they unlocked a Civ achievement. Belch, you catch up with the rest of the group. Has anybody else gotten distracted by anything?
I'm staying as close to Broad as possible, as normally I do.
Yeah. And I'm just kind
Both
of
out of safety for you and
in the direction Wayne's going.
And Wayne, you
Wayne-
are you are
Wayne
a baby
just
with a purpose.
laser focused because I want to get to the rich kid place because I'm
Mm.
convinced I was a rich kid at some point.
That's before your parents were gunned down and etc.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Holy shit, he is Bruce Wayne.
He is Bruce Wayne. Wink. There's a little backstory for you, kids. A little Easter egg. Yeah.
Canceled by WB.
You make your way to the door that you believe enters the rich kids, and sure enough, two well-dressed and more surprisingly clean children stand in front of the door with their arms folded in front of them. One is an adorably redheaded, freckled, puckish little boy, and the other is a little girl with beautiful golden ringlets and pretty purple skin. And they're leaning up against the doors and each other and goes, "Where do you think you're going? Not rich kids."
So I want to run up to those kids
Mhm.
immediately.
Yeah.
And I grab the back of my shirt and I go, "We're which too, Wands End." And I show them the crayon tag I drew on the back of my shirt.
Give me a guile roll. Give me +1 to your guile roll. Are you a rich kid?
That's 2 guile plus a 5 roll plus 1. So that's an 8 guile. Not good
These
enough.
kids might be rich, but they are not smart. Oh. Oh, that's... Ooh. Wands End, huh? I mean,
Wands End.
it must be from the fall collection, but... Okay. All right. You're good. What are you doing hanging out with these not rich kids?
They
Wait,
work
wait.
for me.
Oh. What's
Yeah.
the...
They're
They work for you?
proletariat.
You can hire the not rich kids to work for you? Did you
And
know
you
you could
don't
do that?
have to pay them.
You don't have to pay them.
That's how we rich.
Wait. You say you are building your wealth off of the backs of unskilled, unpaid labor?
That's right.
This is amazing. Why has nobody thought of this and totally ruined society because of it?
You need to weed walk.
And Bryson has introduced feudalism into the rich kids. So all sorts of great things are happening today.
Lots of
Well
upgrades
done.
happening in the courtyard.
Lots of upgrades. Yeah, they buy it. Sure, they step aside and open the
I love
doors.
this game. I just want to pause for just a second.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I love this game. So continue.
Dear God.
They open the doors and hold on. Enter the witch kid section for the witch kid and witch kid's employees who he does not pay.
It's good to be back.
Yes, because obviously you belong here because you are exploiting the working class. Welcome.
As they walk past, Belch will lean over to Brat and go, "I thought your name was Brat, not Labor."
Remember, we're pretending.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
I'm gonna lean back just so that Brat and Belch can hear me and say, "I don't think Bryce is pretending right now."
If we're pretending, can I be Zorro?
You were
please
always Zorro.
You always were. One of the rich kids says, "Hey, no talking, proletariat."
Which is a line that has never been said on any table in a role-playing game ever.
Mark the time down on
let's
this
just
one.
mark
too.
that timestamp
Yeah,
as well.
mark this. We are making records. We are breaking.
I have to say, there are definitely going to be some interesting Twitch clips out of this game.
Wait till I
We are in.
introduce. Wait till I introduce little Karl Marx into the game later on.
Curly marks.
Little curly Marx with his drawn-on beard. Yep. You've entered the rich kids section, and it is a complete 180 from what you're used to. The floors are clean and carpeted. I think that, and like it's soft, like it's not wet and squelchy. It's like comfortable to walk on, which is weird. The windows have this stuff that you can see through, and there's all this greenery, but it's like not a boogery greenery outside. It's strange. There's lights. There's not just like one random candle stuck in a wall sconce. It's you can see where you are. There's fun pictures on the wall. Like somebody has drawn puppies and sunshines on the wall, and not just the constant pictures of piles of poo that people draw on all of your walls, and rocket ships for some strange reason. Lots of poo and rocket ships all over your walls where you're used to. It feels cheery and inviting, and it puts you on edge, except for maybe Bryson. Yeah. who might be playing his role a little too well right now.
I was switched at birth.
Yeah, exactly. Wayne, do you still feel like you might have been switched at birth too?
I feel more like I sort of belong but don't belong here. Like I really do enjoy the dark places.
Mm-hmm.
But just a small part of me like either remembers this life or wanted this life, but now that I'm seeing it, it's kind of feeling like not where I want to be.
Right.
It's like not where I belong.
Brat, how about you? How is all this cheery sunniness?
And they have happy dogs. Have they never met terror and horror?
Apparently not. Something tells you there's not a single flea in this place.
There is now.
Yeah. Belch is just shaking. Ah! Contamination. Yeah.
And we'll put some poop here. And
we'll put some poop here. I'll fix that wall. Draw. Says Belch was here every 5 feet.
I was just thinking that.
As Belch is trying to take it all in, they have their entire hand like inside their ear, scratching around in their ear, like just trying to like, just doesn't compute. And then as they pull it out, they kind of look around real quick and go on a wall.
Oh, just earwax on the wall.
Yeah. And then wipe the rest of it off on their overalls. That one was not good enough to keep.
There is a smeary yellowish green handprint on the wall.
Yes.
It looks like a cave painting. Like you have hunted a bison and claimed it. Boom. You know,
it's modern art.
That's exactly what it is. The kids who would let you in are still standing. They've closed the door behind them, and they're just watching this whole thing. And the little girl with the curly hair goes, "You're very friendly with your employees, fellow rich kid."
So I'm going to run up and go, I heard a rumor that the Go Fish is going to unionize.
While we can't officially tell them not to unionize, we can make them attend meetings that will make them not want to unionize. Quick!
We need a PowerPoint.
Oh, makes me sad inside. I wish I was laughing because it was funny. Yeah, the threat of a union, ears perk up. Unionize. Yeah. But our generational wealth. Yeah.
I don't know how we ended up here, but I'm happy.
Belch can teach them about trickle-down economics, but it's probably not what they think it's going to be.
It definitely is not.
Yeah.
It has to do from the top of your snot rag to the bottom of your snot
Right. Belch is going to trickle on all sorts of things if this keeps up for much longer. The kids go running about, yelling about contacting the Pinkertons, and how property is more important than people, and it's just all the buzzwords, and they've cleared out. There are signs on the doors of the there are signs on the hallway, on the sides of the hallway, where signs usually are, with colorful arrows pointing in different directions. Everyone give me brainy rolls.
I got a 6.
I also have a 6.
I have a 5.
So I've got my 6
Mm-hmm.
that I rolled, plus
Right.
a 2 brainy,
Okay.
plus, and I'll let Jason decide what I remembered. I
Mhm.
looked at the string on my finger
You do.
and remembered something.
You remembered. So you rolled a what? What did you roll together?
So I end up with a 9 with a +1 from my string.
You remembered 4 of your letters. You remembered what a T looks like, what an O looks like, what a Y looks like, and what an S looks like. And you happen to see those 4 letters on one of those signs pointing to the right. There's some other letters behind it, but you recognize those ones all in a row. Yep.
I recognize as it. Hey, remember when they said about Santa that never comes? I think Santa goes there.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
So you're all going down the hall?
Oh yeah, we're going right.
Yes.
You head to the right. And Bryson, you keep, every time you see one of those signs, you follow it again. After a couple of turns, the hallway ends, and you've been hearing sounds coming from other ends of the hall, from branching off corridors, from other rooms, of laughter, like happy sounds, but not the sardonic haha you got hurt laughter that you're all used to. It's maybe joyful laughter, and the sound of singing, but not songs about poop, just like pretty sounding. It's weird, and it's disconcerting, and you're going to stay away from it. I'm not interested in what's going on there. The end of the hall, it ends in a door with that word TOYS something 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 on a sign, and there is a picture somebody has drawn of it's like a weird half clown, like coming out of a box, and his body is like made of weird segments, and he has a maniacal grin on his face. I don't know what the heck that thing is, but it looks terrifying. Rich kids have weird toys, apparently. It is neither a stick or a hoop or a piece of rope or half a doll. The toys that you guys have. It's
Well, the top half looks like a doll.
right.
Yeah.
So you recognize that part, but it's coming out of a box, so
So it's kind of like when we play Headhunters and we stick the doll heads on the sticks.
you got it.
Good call.
Good call.
Very nice. A little bit of comfort, a little bit of familiarity. Good, right.
So what next?
The door's right there. It says toy something something something.
I
You
know
guys are going to send me,
toys,
aren't you?
and then there's other blocks after toys. Santa, Wayne.
Wayne is going to go to the door and he's going to just open it very gently, and by that I mean he's just turning it and throwing the door open.
Don't worry, Wayne. I got your back. Way back. Over here. Away from the scary clown thing.
What can it be? Toys. It's fine. It's fine, guys.
Wayne,
fine.
you crawl up on your tippy toes so you can reach the doorknob, and you quick, you just kind of swing it open.
Yep.
Opens into a closet with bins, rubber bins, lining from floor to ceiling. And in each of those bins, you can see, they're plastic bins, you can see through them. You can see a whole bunch of balls in one bin, a whole bunch of wooden block train sets in another bin, dolls with all of their limbs in another bin.
Not used by snake people.
No, yeah. No, it's colored pencils in a box. Books, like 6 or 7 books.
With letters?
With letters, but you guys never see books are in a box. At least not ones that haven't been drooled or chewed on by 15 kids before you. Everything is neatly put together in these bins, and it's more toys than you've ever seen before. Just from floor to ceiling.
Gang, I
And
think
that's just from standing in the. That's just from standing. That's just when you can see Wayne just looking through the crack.
Yeah, and Wayne just goes, "This would buy so many cookies
With chips?
with anything, Bryce. It's a full doll. It's a box of dolls. There's a box of bowls. There's books.
There's dolls and balls and books.
And books."
Down the hallway at the other end, around a corner that you took, you hear clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop, clip, clop. The sound of heavy, sensible shoes making their way, clip, clop, clip, clop, with a purpose down the hallway, and they're getting closer and closer.
I'm super familiar with that sound, Jason. So
yes.
I am running towards it to pull off. As much as I want to defer to authority, I love my 3 friends.
Okay.
And I have the best chance of the 4 of us, I think, as mommy's little helper, of slowing down the comfortable shoes. So I'm gonna run towards the sound.
Bryson has beat feet towards the cloppy sound. What are you 3 doing as he takes off towards certain doom?
I'm running into the room, and I'm grabbing a bunch of the balls and preparing for the world's most painful snowball fight.
Broad goes armed for battle. All right.
I go into one of the boxes and I just grab $2 and shove them into my pocket.
Okay.
I keep all the
We're
important
looting.
stuff.
Good. I like it. Okay.
You finally got your dames.
Belch just watches Bryson run that way, watches Brat go that way, like watches the looting, and it's just kind of like standing there, very, very confused. So Belch is literally standing there doing absolutely nothing useful. Just
Wayne throws Belch a doll.
goes to put it in the earwax pocket, and it's like, and then just shoves it down the overalls.
Nice.
It's like half hanging out of the overall strap. Like, now
Bryson, you are running down the hallway towards the sound, the clip clop of sensible, comfortable shoes. And you turn the corner and you recognize, your brain says that's a nurse, but it's not a nurse because their uniform is clean, for one. They are smiling, for another. They don't smell of special medicine or stale cigarettes. And they're not half dead behind the eyes. She stops, this not dead inside nurse. He stops and he looks down at you with a smile, and he looks a little quizzical, and he says, "Hey, little fella, I don't recognize you. Where'd you come from?"
So, using a power I had no idea I had, I look up, and immediately my eyes turn into anime puppy eyes
Whoa!
with the highlights,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm lost.
Give me
All
an
right, so-
adorable roll.
Yeah, hold on. Like, I got shit
Yep.
for this. Hold on. All right. All right. So I want to use my class ability of I
Mhm.
love you. I love you.
Oh, yes, you will.
I'm going to eat a cookie.
Okay.
The child is just period,
Mhm.
2 period, cute period.
Right.
Mommy's little helper can get a +2 to any adorable roll. So I've got 3 in adorable.
Okay.
So 3 plus my 2 I rolled is 5, plus my 5, 6, 7. 7 all day, and I'm going to take away a cookie. I'm down to 3 cookies.
Okay. He gives you a grin and goes, poor guy, you must be new. I don't recognize you. Why don't you come with me? We'll go see the head nurse, and we'll figure out where you're supposed to be right now, okay?
Is it this way? Pointing in the opposite direction of my friends.
He's like, if you think he came from that way, sure, we'll go check that way. Come on. And he puts out his hand to take it by the hand, and he starts to walk you down the hallway the other way. You three, meanwhile, are hearing the clip clop get further and further away. And you're alone all of a sudden, no Bryson, in the toy closet. Everyone give me just a precociousness roll and add your d6 to it. Except for you, Bryson, you're not there. You're not there!
You have to be so
I have a
angry about it,
9.
Jason. Jesus.
Splitting the party. All right. What do we get?
I'm at a 9.
Okay.
I'm at a 6.
Okay.
A 7.
All right. Bunch of nerds. Wayne, you feel a prickling in the back of your neck. You've been standing at the door just waiting with your doll in hand, waiting for something to happen. You haven't really paid attention to the rest of the toy room. But you start to feel a little prickle at the hairs at the back of your neck rise up. And you turn around. And in the corner, kind of tucked behind some stuff, is a dollhouse. And there are lights on inside the dollhouse. And as you stare closer, you see what seems to be one of the dolls is waving at you from the window in the upstairs bedroom. And now she's waving with both hands and she's shaking her head. And she seems to be screaming something, but you can't hear because she's in the dollhouse.
So tired.
So far, you're the only one who's noticed this way. I
Oh,
don't know if you want to tell the other two.
I'm going to go ahead and say, I found the dollhouse. I don't think we want to touch it.
But then how do we get the cookies?
That's a great question, Brat. Come look at this.
Come over there.
And I point to the the light in the window and the little doll that's waving her arms frantically.
Hi.
And now she's shaking her head vehemently.
Then I look to turn and tell Belch about it, and I'm like, no.
The little form puts her hands to her face, and you can make out that she's saying, "No!" as the two of you lean in closer. And the front door of the dollhouse opens. And the three of you suddenly feel as if the toy closet is getting much, much bigger. And that's where we're going to end.
Oh, this is
Oh,
so good.
boy.
We're going to go to credits. We'll be right back.
So good.
So this would probably be a little bit longer post credit than we normally do because I got a lot to talk about. One, I had surprisingly high expectations, and it was on a couple levels. One, having read the rule book, having interviewed you guys, had pretty high expectations for the game, exceeded. I never felt like the mechanics got in the way. I felt like they held everything up. And this is something that I've talked about with a lot of other games, Jason, not just this one, but the naming of things matters. Systems matter, right?
Absolutely.
And it sets the tone and it explains to us what we're about to do. This is not GURPS. This is a very specific tone and concept, and those little details really, really matter. The second thing I got to say is, even though, Jason, we had a great interview on the podcast and I didn't hesitate to have you come on the channel to GM, I had no idea what type of GM you would be.
Oh, thank you. That's
Hats
a good
off,
thing, though,
man.
right? Oh,
hats off, my friend. Hats off.
Thanks.
I'm terrible as a player, and I loved every minute of as a GM. So I'm going to finish with you, Jason, but I want to go around the horn real quick. So one of the traditions here is we've stolen something from the Gauntlet. We do like to do stars and wishes. So the way stars and wishes work is stars is a player, not a character, a player's opportunity to talk about their star moment. And it could be a player was a star, or a moment was a star, or just something where, and they felt full immersion. So we stopped being people that work on our day jobs. We stopped being on a stream. We were in the orphanage. So I'm going to start with you, Joe. What was your star?
My star moment was absolutely when the two dogs were stopped in the hallway.
Yeah.
That was a perfect moment where I could visualize everything. I was Wayne in that moment and trying to figure out exactly what Wayne would do, and Wayne would not go down the hallway. Wayne would send the muscle.
Yeah,
Well, first he would try to send Bryce because he finds Bryce a little annoying.
as you
But
should.
this would be an instance where Bryce's overwhelming cuteness might work.
No, that was perfect. So the second piece of that is wishes, and wishes is again addressed to the player. So this is to you, Joe, not Wayne. What are you wishing for our next episode? And this could be a moment you're hoping for, a question that isn't answered. What are you, or a theme or something? So what do you, as we schedule and look forward to episode 2, what are you wishing for?
I am wishing to learn more about our character's backstory just generally. Like,
Nice.
I'd like to know ultimately why I'm orphaned. I think it's one of the reasons why I'm a PI.
Right.
Is I have big questions, and I like to question the very nature of things, and make animals question the very nature of things. So
That's great. All right, so Donald, your turn. Let's start with your star. So what was your star moment?
Okay, so this is going to sound like a shill, but I don't mean it to. But I really think the star to me is the system,
Yeah.
and what I mean by that is, a lot of times when you're in gaming, you're playing what I call a competent character, and so you're so busy trying to think, how would my character being competent, that you really don't get to let loose and just have fun. And it becomes more of a tactical thing versus a social thing. Whereas this game is much more of social first, and well, we might have some tactics, or we might throw boogers at people. So to me, that's kind of my star. It's just
And what I love about that, Donald, is that there's a couple roles that Jason called for that you had low stats in, but I got the feeling like you were saying what Brat would do, as opposed to
Right.
looking at your sheet and letting your character sheet tell you what to do.
Yeah, exactly. And doing that, and also just even with the bad rolls, the idea of, okay, or when I looked at my sheet and I saw 2 grumps, it's like, well, I'm doing a temper tantrum. I have to take grumps.
Yep.
I'm just going to yank my hand away because toddler temper tantrum. And then once I get over it, I'm like, oh, I upset this person. That was a problem. I should deal with it.
That
And
was
then
a
probably
great
forget.
moment.
Yeah.
Wishes.
Wishes. That one's a little tough for me. And just because, I know it's a thing, I'm actually kind of wishing for more of the same.
That's a legit wish.
And and it goes back to why I said the system is, this is one of those games of, people like to refer to beer and pretzel games. And it's fun to be able to just break out, be the extrovert. And we joked once about, most men stop aging or maturing at age 12, and then they just learn how to hide it.
Yeah.
And this is a game designed to allow you not to have to hide it.
Could not agree more. And Donald, you know this as well as anybody. Like, this is not my genre, right? So like fantasy, not really my genre, but I enjoy fantasy fine. But I like dark horror, scary stuff. That's you look at my channel, and the majority of my games are that. And there is something very freeing about just saying, you know what, let's get 5 people together and let's just have some fun. And let's play, and then we'll see what happens. And I feel like that's exactly what happened. So I'm with you, Donald. I'm completely with you. All right. So Maeve, star.
Yeah. All right. So from literally the moment that this game came across my consciousness, I was introduced to the concept of it, and I went, oh, this is Muppet Babies. If it was weirder, I was like, I'm into this. And then you presented us with the character sheets, and I saw the play carrier, and I was like, yes, my time has come.
It's all led up to this.
And Craig could tell you exactly how excited I was, because unlike Craig, where yes, I do kind of like the horror stuff, goofy chaos is my thing. I love it. So for me, the star is literally that first moment where you were like, there's a food fight. What are you doing? And I instantly just had to be like, yep, we're getting right into this character. What is this character doing? And from that point on, the system was so great at allowing you to just have the freedom to just have fun and be silly and throw boogers at things or fart and clear a room to finish, you know, like all of that was absolutely perfect for me. So I really think it really, like, you set the tone from the very, very beginning.
Agreed.
And that very first moment where I was able to like jump into that character, because I am a very character driven player, to jump into that character and be like, yeah, here we are. This is great. This is where I am. We're rolling with it, whether everybody else likes it or not.
All right. So wishes, Maeve.
Wishes. I want us all to have our Goonies moment. And by that, I mean
Yes.
that we find out that thing that doesn't mean anything to the characters, but it means everything to the players. We discover that thing, that secret that is part of Lady Chastity's home that makes sense to the players, but the characters just have no clue. Like, you
That's
know,
cool.
we stumble on the pirate ship.
So as a player, I'll go real quick. I'm going to start with wishes. We had, and I'm not saying we need more of this because we got this, but I love the pseudo reality fantasy thin veil, right? There's a thin membrane between fantasy and reality in this game, and I'm really enjoying that. So, like, you know, the Snake Man, and nobody was just like, yeah, of course it's a Snake Man. And great little detail, Jason, with the lizard hitting Brat's face, right? So it's a throwaway thing, but it informs the world and informs just like this extra like weirdness that exists. Star, I think Star for me has to go to the Wayne dog interaction and really us seeing firsthand, are you a good dog? And that having as much impact as throwing snot, anything, you know, like for us to understand that was a great Star. So we've got other stuff to talk about, but real quick, Jason, as a GM, Star.
Star was also the existential crisis for the dog, because that was how the system was designed to be played. That combat can be decided by so many different ways, and you guys did you sneezed on the dog, you hit the dog with a stuffed animal, and you gave the dog an existential crisis, and that was each of you played to your strengths, and it gave me a chance to really think what would an existential crisis for an old dog be like, you know? So those moments when each of you kind of understood, oh, this is what we're doing, right. This is what this is supposed to be. As both the GM and the designer of the game, that is so satisfying for me to see when people get it. Oh, okay, I get it. This is what we're doing. No.
So how about wishes for episode 2?
Wishes for episode 2. I want you guys to feel like you can play more. Like nothing is off, and nothing is off the table. Donald, those moments where you went for it because you knew Brat would go for it, even though you knew you were probably going to fail the role, just because. Yeah, those are great because you were worried about playing, and that's what this game is. It's the joy of playing together. You know, as we get older, we forget that sort of how to play. We forget how to play. Even those of us who are gamers, you know, we game, we don't play. You know, there's a difference. So to see you guys kind of, or you folks kind of get those moments of joy and levity, I want more of that. You know.
So the last thing I want to throw out there, Jason, and feel free to take a second to think about this, right? So there's people watching right now that are GMs or there are players, and they're sitting here going, wow, these five people had a ton of fun, but this is nothing like what my Saturday night group plays. So have you found any elevator pitches that could help that person that says, I want to play this with my Saturday night group, but I don't know how to put it in front of them?
This is also not what my Saturday night group plays, or normally what my normal Saturday night group would play. Now I'm making them play it now, since half of them helped me write it. But the pitch the thing that we've kind of stumbled upon when it comes to games like this is that this is a game with few expectations for greatness for your characters. It's there are few expectations for those big end all huge moments. There's few expectations for nail biting drama. This is simply a way to enjoy each other's company and to get silly. And if you don't feel like your group would necessarily be into something like Babies and Broadswords, get them a 6-pack and a pizza
Yeah.
and just put the character sheets and a die in front of them. Just start going. The great thing about the system is how simple it is to pick it up and play. No one here besides me has played this tonight. Yep. And half of you haven't even seen the rule book. We just went. We just jumped right into it. This is a palate cleanser game. This is a Saturday night beer and pretzels game. This is a great game to reconnect with your players, because you're not investing so much into Babies and Broadswords. It's all about having fun and reconfirming why you play together. And the book is $20, and you get the whole thing you need and 2 adventures right off the bat. So the value is there too.
There's no question. And the only whipped cream I'll put on top of that cupcake is that this, in my mind, and I thought this, Jason, and I hope you take this as the compliment I mean it to be, this is the game to put in your back pocket when someone doesn't show for your 5e game.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So there's 6 of you and 5 show up, and it's like, well, shit, we can't play because Joe's a jerk and he told us at the last minute he can't make it. You pull out these character sheets, there's 5 players, put 7 in front of them, tell them to grab 5 sheets and start telling the story, start setting the thing down, have a food fight. How fast did all 4 of us jump in? Right? How fast did we find our characters in that way? So I love that. And I don't want to call it a filler game, because that's not the point I'm making. I'm saying the filler is the opportunity to, because it's such a shallow ramp to get in. Like, it took us all of 7 minutes to start playing. So excellent stuff. All right, so last quick tradition we have. I'm going to start with you, Joe. I have a random question generator that I've programmed. I wrote it in JSON, and what it's going to do is it's going to generate a random question. I'm going to ask you that question, and if you don't want to answer it, that's fine. So just give me a second. Okay, so this interesting. So this question is there any podcasts or live streams devoted to the second most popular game made by Weird?
Why, yes, Craig, there is, on that completely random question. There is Coordinated Strike, which is relaunching, which follows the exploits of Weird's other game, The Other Side. And that host happens to be here tonight, and it's me. So
the chances of that coming up, Joe, are just amazing.
So amazing. I'm so glad you programmed that in JSON.
Yeah, it's funny how uncanny it can be. So, Joe, if I want to listen or to watch Coordinated Strike and learn more about really what is an amazing game, that not only does Weird Games not get the attention they deserve for Malifaux, but they definitely don't get the attention they deserve for Other Side. Where do I go? Is there a pod platform I need to go? YouTube? Where do I go?
Well, our YouTube channel will be launching shortly. I'm getting the studio ready.
Excellent.
To actually start broadcasting some games again. My son is starting to learn, so very exciting there.
That's great.
And additionally, you can catch me on Coordinated Strike at podbean.com. That's the website. But just type into your search engine Coordinated Strike podcast, and we should be one of the first things that comes up.
Perfect. So, Maeve, I'm not going to use my overly long introduction to pretend to have a random generator. Maeve, where can we find more Maeve?
We just finished up our first season of Foxtail Games. We did City of Mist. It should
Which was
be
really
the
good,
final-
by the way.
Oh, love it, love it. The final session of that should be up here shortly, and then I believe we're actually in a couple months going to move to podcast form. So if you're on the channel, I'll let you know. It'll probably be Foxtail Games Podcast. We're talking about doing masks. Such a great game.
Nice.
Super excited. I also have my own Malifaux podcast called Bayou Breakdown. If you like to hear interviews with players, we don't do the crunchy stuff. We just have fun and I make them play games. And so that is Bayou Breakdown.
So Donald, it's not that I haven't been looking forward to playing this, but I think more than anything, I've been looking forward to playing with you. You and I have been on opposite sides of the GM screen before, but this is the first time we've had a chance to play together. So I've been really looking forward to this. Is there anything that you want to plug?
Well, I'm just going to throw a general shout out there to itch.io.
Preach.
So anyone looking for some good indie games, itch.io, it's the place to look. You will probably find 20 things that you're interested in.
All right. So Jason, we have podcast, YouTube channel, and where do I buy this book?
You can find the book on Amazon if you want to get the physical copy. Babies and Broadswords, the book with all the rules. You can get a PDF at DriveThruRPG. Both of the links are located on our website, evenfootinggames.com, and you can actually order the book from your local bookstore. We are able to go into bookstores. So if you have a local indie game store or a comic book store, they should be able to order the book through Ingram. We are in the process of coming out with our second big-sized module, Babies and Broadswords game. The first one is kind of really a takeoff of Dungeons and Dragons. This time we're tackling Call of Cthulhu. So late September, early October, we're going to be releasing the Crawl of Cthulhu, which whole new module, a bunch of new monsters, a bunch of new classes. Joe was nice enough to show off our PI, who's one of the classes that's going to be featured in the Crawl of Cthulhu.
Oh, that's great.
That's going to be coming out September, October. Follow our Discord or any of our social medias to get the specific date once we nail things down. But we're really excited. Even Footing Games, you can find us on all the channels, and you can get the books through the website or at your local bookstore, which is where I would suggest getting it.
Beautiful. So to catch episode 2, you've got a couple options. One, if you're binge watching this, obviously it's the next thing in the playlist. But if you're not binge watching this and you're watching it close to live, just follow the socials for Third Floor Wars. You're going to see all of the announcements about when episode 2 gets scheduled. It's the first thing we're going to talk about when we come off air. You made it all the way to the end, folks. I appreciate you watching all the way to the end, and support your creators. Take care, all.
Thanks, everyone.
Howdy, friends. Thank you for watching. All our content is archived and organized in playlists on the Third Floor Wars YouTube channel. Check it out. And if you could like, follow, subscribe, and even set your notifications to this channel on YouTube and Twitch, we'd appreciate it, and it'll make sure that you catch all of our content. I talk with creators, designers, and experts across the gaming landscape in every episode of our podcast, Tabletop Talk. Open up your favorite podcatcher and search for Tabletop Talk from Third Floor Wars. Support your creators. They make the content you love, and it's your support that makes it happen. If you want to help us, go to Third Floor Wars on patreon.com, and you can help us for as little as $1 a month. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Take care.